My guest today is Chavez-Salazar, a community banking leader with Sunrise Bank. With years of experience in business development and relationship banking, Laura is passionate about helping families and small businesses succeed through personal service and local support. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you for having me, David. I'm very excited to be here today.
Good to have you. So we're talking small business, local entrepreneurs. What advantages do small business owners gain by working with a community bank versus a larger institution?
The most important that I feel is that relationship and support from their relationship banker. People always laugh because when I pass them my card, I said, see, that's my cell phone number. That is the number my kids call when they need me. And customers are respectful of that. They do understand, so they don't call crazy hours, but it's important for them to know that they have a partner that if they do have an emergency on a Saturday morning, they can call on. And that's what they get when they bank with the community bank. They get a true partner that cares about the growth of their business and really wants to have that partnership, because if they succeed, of course, as a bank, we succeed as well.
I can't think of a single time where a teller at a bank has given me their cell phone number. So that's actually very different. I love the way you put that. It's like, yeah, this is where my kids call. So be smart about when you call me. I like that. That's good. So are there certain industries or types of businesses where a community bank is particularly strong versus maybe the larger institutions?
As community banks, David, we don't really focus on an industry per se, because that could really get us in trouble. Because if we have too much focus on, let's say, technology, we've recently seen an issue with the bank that did that. If that area of our community has any kind of downturn, that could really put a bank out. The FDIC doesn't want that. We don't want that. So we really like to diversify the portfolio. So I hate to call them buckets, but have real estate, investment, restaurant. So to really try to balance. So if any one area takes a hit, it doesn't do this. So we really try to keep a balance versus really putting emphasis on any one. I mean, technology is great because it's ever changing, and that's something that's not going to end. But as a small community bank, you just can't afford to take a hit.
Well, so as a bank, I mean, just like somebody building an investment portfolio, you're going to be diversified as well. So that makes a lot of sense. How about for newer entrepreneurs who don't have a long track record? How do you figure out how to support them, and then how you can help them grow and build?
The beauty of a community banker is we see business owners at every stage come in to see us. So those startups that maybe one day wake up, they have this great idea, but don't know how to put the steps forward to succeed with that. We really like to talk to them. Our president will sit with them and say, these are the things that you need to get from A to B. If you're just starting, if it's as easy as you need to get with SunBiz, file your corporate documentation, find a CPA, but we really do like to put a plan together and help them be that resource to be successful.
I was going to ask about mentorship, education, and it sounds like that's really kind of built into the relationship.
It is. And we have various clients that have been customers with our lenders, for example, and they've traveled with them because from one community bank to another or wherever they go, because they've had that mentorship that has helped them get from to where they're at today.
That's actually one of the other questions I was going to ask if we had time is the community banking aspect of the overall banking industry strikes me as being a community of its own, where people that are in that community banking, a lender or other relationship manager, tends to stay in that community. It's like a different breed.
You're absolutely right, and we do a lot of work together. There's not a lot of us left, so we have to work together. The small community needs us, so we need to work together. We even do some participation loans, for example, that because as a community bank, I can't carry a $20 million loan, right? But I can work with the other community bank and we can participate, and maybe they do 10, we do 10. So then it kind of leverages that risk, and we work together so that both community banks stay healthy and supporting our community.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess the question then is how much capacity, and you've kind of answered that, and that may be a distinguishing factor. So really the focus of community banking isn't necessarily the largest companies in the world. It's really, again, the community that you serve.
Absolutely, 100%.
Excellent, great. What are some of the questions that a business owner, the entrepreneur, should be asking to determine whether a community bank is the right choice for them?
One that I didn't learn myself until I was maybe 5 years into my career is, what is the corporate status of your bank? Because if they are an S corp, they have plans for long-term, small size, independent community banking. They can't grow over $1 billion. So that, that means they're not looking to become a huge conglomerate. They're not looking to grow, and sell. So if they have that type of ownership, their share owners are getting, whether it's quarterly or annual dividends. So they're seeing their results versus having to wait for the bank to sell to get their money back. And that's a question that your banker should be able to answer for you.
Well, I'm glad you volunteered that, because I think for a lot of business owners, we've seen, with other industries as well, not to be unfair to the banking industry, but we've seen roll up, we've seen acquisitions. I was in a bank recently helping a client, and the bank had been 3 or 4 different companies. So it's a fair question, I think, to ask of any relationship that a business owner or individual should ask when they're and to evaluate with that relationship.
Absolutely. And I mean, it doesn't mean they're not going to sell, right? Everything has a price, but that's not the plan or the purpose. They're looking for long term. Typically, the share owners look at this as, this is maybe their retirement fund,
Yeah, that's
or
a good way to
something
put it.
they can pass on to their families with long term. If you're looking for that multi-generational wealth.
Not a short-term holding, longer term,
Right.
intergenerational,
Yes.
something that can be part of their retirement portfolio among other assets. That sounds good.
Yes. Yes.
I think a lot of people are attracted to that. That's great. Laura Chavez-Salazar, thank you for joining us. Great stuff.
Thank you for having me. I am so glad you got to come today.
Thank you.